good weekend. It was nice. It was nice to be. I was just checking to see if Mike Parker wanted to come in, so he said go right ahead. Yeah. You know, our performance on Thursday was completely my fault. You know, guys, I was sick all week and I didn't have any energy, and you could see the team didn't have any energy either. They usually get their energy from me, and that was not our typical game. So we wanted to come out on Saturday and play with a lot more energy and a lot more pizzazz, and I thought we did that. And as far as going forward, we're looking forward to the Pac-12 tournament. You know, our guys are confident. They feel good about themselves. It's a nice way to go into the tournament, and we're approaching things one game at a time. But it sure is good watching our guys know that they have played 3 games in the tournament before. You can see that in their eyes. You can see that in their play. So with that, I'll open it up for questions. Yeah, that's that. You know, it's funny. That seems to happen to us a lot in my 5 years here. It seems like the team we play, one of the last 2 weekends, we end up playing them again during the tournament. It's fine. You know, it's nice to play a team where you have had some success. I don't know how they're going to be from a personnel standpoint, but I would imagine that Robertson's going to play this time around, so it'll be a different kind of game. But we're looking forward to the challenge again. Well, we prepared for him anyway. It's funny. We prepared for him anyway because we heard that he was ill, and whenever you hear somebody's ill, they can always get better. And then when we saw we played our game Thursday and saw he didn't play on Thursday, then we just prepared for him anyway. So our preparation from that standpoint won't change at all. It is one of these things when I go to the tournament, I almost erase everything from that standpoint because I don't want to be clouded by what had happened in the past, whether you played well or played poorly. I just want to go in. Our last game, we played well. Let's continue that on that note. So I don't have any I try not to have any biases that way. Oh yeah, no, we aren't. We are very confident that if we're playing our game for 40 minutes, we can win 4 games in a row. Absolutely. The $64,000 question is, can we do that for 40 minutes? Now, it was nice to be able to do that on the road at altitude in a game where a team was actually playing for something. That gives us a lot of confidence, but this season, while our record, and I know you guys have been really patient with me, listening to me say this over and over again, with our record not showing it, being competitive in every single Pac-12 game has been a new feeling for Oregon State over the last 5 years, and that feeling we have to keep experiencing and not let it go backwards. And I think with the start of the Pac-12 tournament, this is an opportunity for us to move forward in yet another direction.
Another time. Colorado, you talked about it being a confidence booster overall, but when you look at that game, are there specific areas where this team feels more confident heading into the tournament?
Sure, it easily not making game-losing mistakes in the last 2.5, 3 minutes. I was very proud of the way the guys handled the ball, took care of the ball, didn't have any turnovers in that last 2 or 3 minutes. When we got in trouble, we knew what to do. We knew when to call timeouts. We made the extra pass to guys. And we made our foul shot. So all those things that didn't take place in the games that we lost by 4 points or less took place in that game. On the road, fatigued by the altitude, all of that comes into play, and I think that gives you confidence that you can do it anytime.
Do you think that could be kind of a turning point into doing that more consistently over the next
Yeah, I think so. You know how I am. We'll look back and make to see if it was a real turning point, but it should be a turning point. I mean, we've had enough of these close games where this should be a nice blueprint for how you win close games on the road.
You mentioned that it was the fatigue would have been an issue, right? The second game on the road at altitude. What does that say about your team's intestinal fortitude?
Yeah, the one thing that I never ever question about this team is their heart and their guts. Um, this team could have easily packed it in many games ago, many weekends ago. They just don't do that. They respect the game. They respect each other. They respect the work that they've put in so much that they come out and play every single game. And as their coach, I'm extremely proud of that. So watching them win that game the way they did at altitude, all the things you mentioned at altitude, they're playing for a higher seed. They had just blitzed the number one team in the league. Just shows it's a character win along with following the game plan and strategic win. It's very much a character win.
Was there any one player?
Springboards them into the Pac-12 tournament?
I think so. I joked with them after the game. You probably don't remember this last year when we lost in the semis and we were exhausted. I told them we just started our winning streak too early because we had won the last two games and then the next two games. So I said, you guys are doing exactly what we needed to do. You're starting your streak later, so maybe we can go a little bit further. So they thought that was funny, but not that funny.
Craig, was there any one player that kind of stepped up between Utah and Colorado and led, whether it be off the court?
Well, that's an interesting notion, but it was all of them. I mean, what's been remarkable about this team is that we have talked about all year long how we haven't hit on all cylinders very often. Well, what was interesting prior to the game is watching all of our guys trying to pick up Ahmad who hasn't been playing well. That is one of those situations that, again, makes you feel really good about your team where you understand how much they care about each other and how much they want to win. But it's not just all about themselves. So I'm watching as the other players are trying to help Ahmad understand that while we need you to win, we're here to help you. And it was a team-wide thing. It wasn't just one guy. And that's been nice to see. I think the leadership of Joe Burton, I mean, he is absolutely on his last leg, literally and figuratively, with his knees and just out there fighting. Eric Moreland obviously is making up for the fact that Joe can't get as many rebounds and that Angus and Daniel Gomez aren't there. And so I could go on and on. Roberto Nelson, while he doesn't score any points in the first half, is sort of dealing out there as a point guard because he knows people are kind of keying on him and he gets everybody else going. I mean, it's just all of those things show that it is a complete team effort.
You mentioned that Ahmad's not playing that well right now. What could this team potentially do if he goes back?
Listen, I don't even want to get that excited. I mean, it's just the sky's the limit. And I think that he's still got some basketball left in him. Ahmad has done a great job of handling his business just like nothing's wrong. He comes in and sees me every Monday after the weekend. We recap, with your point guard, you recap what went on over the weekend, what our plans are for this week. He's encouraging the younger players, helping Charlie, who took his spot in the lineup, get better. It's been just a fantastic role model showing on his part. And if he gets back to being 14, 16 points a game, I don't think anybody can beat us.
You are officially the 12th seed. I'm sure you don't feel like the 12th best team out there.
Right.
Is there any kind of chance that there's motivation to prove that, don't look at the record and we can actually do something here?
Actually, it is the 12th seed. Look at the record. see how you feel. That's motivation for us. All of the above is motivation. You know, the fact that we have higher expectations of ourselves is probably the biggest motivation. I mean, you know, I got a locker room full of guys who are absolutely disappointed that they aren't in a better position, but they're also realistic and confident enough to know that if they play well, we can do something in this tournament.
Colorado, they're going to be kind of looking for blood after what happened on Saturday. I mean, how do you prepare your team to match that energy coming out?
Well, you know, I don't think we'll have trouble matching their energy. We just have to execute. We know that they're going to be coming out for bear. You know, they're playing for NCAA tournament aspirations, and so they won't need any extra motivation. Our guys know that, and we'll be prepared for it.
You mentioned earlier you guys have had a lot of success in the Pac-12 tournament last year, the year before you won a game. What is the key going into this tournament environment that's giving you guys success? What have you done?
Yeah, I would love to give that out to everybody out there, but no, it's not any real big secret. I think that we truly view it as another chance. I mean, when you don't have something to fall back on, like you've already earned a bid, or you have such a high ranking that you don't have to worry about getting to the NCAA tournament, this is a new beginning for us. And I think that's really what it's been. I think our guys get rejuvenated when we get to this part of the year, because it's a time to start over. And we have always gotten better toward the end of the year, and it feels that way this year. So no real magic elixir or anything like that, but it's just a mindset.
Past few years we're in LA. Now it's new in Las Vegas. Have you talked to the guys about staying at the MGM Grand? They're college kids.
Yeah, well, you know, we were fortunate. We got to play in Vegas this year against San Diego, which sort of gave us a little dry run of that. But for our guys, this is a business trip. They want to win. They want to win. Not only do they want to win multiple games. And so I don't think, you know, the nightlife will draw too many of them to the flame, hopefully. And we'll be we'll be going out there to get to work.
When they were young, a couple years ago, there was an incident in Arizona, right, with a few of these guys getting involved. Do you think that helped them now at this point in their career kind of know how to handle it?
You know, I would like to say yes, but having kids of my own, it doesn't matter how many times they get in trouble, they still get in trouble. So you just have to remind them constantly. But I'm sure that, you know, guys who have gotten in trouble before are less likely to get in trouble again, and hopefully they can use some of that wisdom to help the younger guys not get into trouble. But I really, the way it's set up, we're in the hotel. The game is in the hotel that we're staying in. There's not much. It's not much easier for us to keep an eye on them.
What was your impression of the venue when you played earlier?
So when we played at the MGM Grand, I didn't know what to expect. I had actually never played a game in Las Vegas at all, first of all, the first impression you get of the MGM, I'd never been to the MGM Hotel either, and casino. You walk in and you realize, okay, this is the MGM, and it's grand when you walk in there. No pun intended, but it is really grand. And then you walk into where they have the arena. You have to walk through a long hallway to you're walking through the concourse. There's shops and all this stuff. But when you get down to where the arena is, they have these photos up, these big sort of 20 by 20 photos of acts that have performed in the MGM Grand. Fantastic. I mean, you see, you know, Patti LaBelle, Earth, Wind and Fire, boxers, Mike Tyson. You know, you see you name it, Elton John, and then you see young folks like Justin Bieber and Katy Perry, all of this. You're walking down the hall going to the arena. Then you walk into the arena and you see it looks just like a regular basketball court. I thought it was going to look like a stage or something. I didn't know what to think. And then when I walk in, it looks just like a normal arena. It's nothing different. The baskets are the same. The seats look good. They have some skyboxes around the top. It's going to be a fun event. And so there's no big surprise. It's just a lot of history there.
It's been a long season going all the way back to the summer.
Right.
Are there any thoughts now that, we could be facing our last game, last
Yeah, with our record, it's going to be hard for us to do any more basketball unless we win 4 games. But to get back to your first point about, do we look at this as this possibly our last game? We never talk about that until we have to talk about it. I mean, as long as this season has been with the European trip and the injuries and the setbacks, it's going to be bitter for all of us once the season's over, because for 2 reasons. One, our expectation, I told you, from here on out is going to be to make the NCAA tournament. If you don't make it, it's disappointing. But that's what good programs do. They don't manage their expectations, they raise their expectations. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, it is going to be hard for all of us to go forward without Joe Burton. I can't even tell you how hard that's going to be. And thinking about it, it just makes me not want to think about it. I mean, he has grown in so many ways. I told him some weeks ago, as we were starting to get toward the end of the season, I told him I hope he gets into coaching when he's done playing, because he has such a knowledge of this game, but he has such a way with people that I think he'd be a great teacher. He'd be a great ambassador for this game. So that's going to make it tough. But we don't talk about that now because, like I said, those guys in those locker room, they think, okay, playing 3 games is like the minimum. So that's the way we're going to approach it.
I wasn't in Colorado, so I didn't get the context. But Coach Boyle, after the game, apparently apologized for losing. Is that something you heard?
I didn't hear it. I heard that he had apologized to his fans. Well, you guys know when I first got here and we didn't give our best effort, I apologized to the fans, because I think the fans will be with you as long as you're playing hard. But I felt like they were playing hard. I just thought they didn't play well. But, if you lose to the team who's in last place, maybe you feel like you have to apologize to folks. But I think Coach Boyle is a good coach and a good guy, so I don't question any of his moves. And seeing how I've done that in the past, it would be hypocritical of me to blast him on it. But
And how would you rate Eric Mullen's performance in that game?
wow, yeah, Eric, that was one of Eric's best games, and I'm not just saying that because we won. I'm saying it because he helped us win. We needed his offense. I mean, without Ahmad sort of giving us his usual, it's nice to have another guy who you can go to, and he's been more aggressive offensively, and we've really needed that. You're going to get his rebounds, you're going to get his effort, but that offense, he was really looking for his opportunities to put the ball in the basket.
And then defensively, were you surprised at all that he didn't make the Pac-12 all-defensive team?
Oh, you know what? I haven't seen any of the things, but when you're not in the top part of the league, that stuff can happen. I am surprised that he didn't make the all-defensive team, but it happens.
You mentioned Burton with him gone next year. Do you see a lot of reworking of the offense since the other changes and these guys are so different?
Yeah, we haven't thought about that yet, and it'll be something that we think long and hard about it. But certainly we can't. The next person who's going to be in Joe's spot can't possibly handle the ball as much as he's handled it, because he's like having a guard who's a center. But that doesn't mean somebody can't evolve to that. So I will table that until I see how guys improve over the summer.
And at Utah, it looked like he basically couldn't move.
Yeah.
Did he take a lot of work?
I thought the same thing. I thought we were all sluggish, starting with me, and I know I was sluggish. I didn't feel well. But I thought Joe was just kind of worn down, and the altitude plus the altitude affects bigger people, and his knees are. He's had years of basketball on those knees, and this has been a long season. But he's just he just summoned up the courage to be better the next game. So I think you're right. I thought we were all sluggish in that first Utah game, and Joe probably more than most, but he sure snapped right back on Saturday.
Utah really, he's had great games against them, and they chose to try to take away.
Well, that's part of it too, Mike. Thanks for reminding me of that. And if you guys didn't see the game, he was getting double teamed in Utah, and he did not get double teamed Saturday. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it too. Very good point, Mike. Thanks.
Back to Ahmad, has he struggled with his role this year? Where's his?
No, I don't think it's a struggle. Ahmad is a very good basketball player who understands the game as well, if not better than most guys. What he struggled with is trying to figure out how to get himself out of the slump. And I think that happens to, at some point in your career, you go through what he's going through. And you, at some point, figure out how to get out of it. And that's what he's really working hard on. And I just am, I said he stopped by today before I came down here, and he said, "How you doing, Coach?" And I said, "Well, I'm worried about you." He was like, "Don't worry about me. I'll be all right." Now, he's trying to calm me down and from calming him down. So, he's well aware of it, and he's trying to work his way out. We're all trying to help him out of it, and it'd be no better time than tomorrow to get out of it, or Wednesday. I'm losing track of my days. Wednesday. Let's save it for Wednesday.
And yet for a guy, maybe, in a funk or whatever it is, his plays down the stretch in Colorado were huge.
Well, and that's what I told him. I said, in the locker room after the game, I said, how ironic is it that I thought his driving layup left-handed when everybody thought he would dish it off, that was the play where they thought, oh, man, we might lose this game because it was at such a critical time and it was so late in the game. And then he bangs the 2 foul shots that really make us feel like, okay, as long as we don't blow it, we can win this game. So there are many ways of helping the team out when you're not shooting the ball well, and that's what he's doing. Like I said earlier, he is helping Charlie. He's helping all the guards, all the young guys. He's been great on defense. He's gotten some big rebounds, and he's still contributing. We just need him to make a few more shots.
So who was your coach of the year?
Who won Coach of the Year?
Dana.
Dana did.
Did you go for him?
Did I ask you guys who you voted for in November? I didn't ask one person who they voted for in November. I can't believe you asked me that. That was smooth how you tried to get me to say, but I'm not saying. I'm not saying. Secret ballot.
The league as a whole, Coach, going into the tournament, have you ever seen a league quite as wholly unpredictable as this has been this year?
No, I only have the Big Ten to compare to when I was an assistant there, and it never every single team looked like they could beat another team, and certainly it feels that way this year. You've got, Utah, Washington State, ourselves, the teams that had been at the bottom are all look like they're starting to figure things out. And if that's the case, who knows what could happen? Is that it? All right. You're welcome. Thank you.